trafficking case.
In an overnight court filing, prosecutors alleged that from jail, Combs has orchestrated social media campaigns that are, in his own words, aimed at tainting the jury pool.
The war in Ukraine and Russia is expected to end more quickly once Donald Trump assumes the presidency, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated. A former student is accused of carrying out a knife attack at a college in Yixing, China, killing 8 people and injuring 17 others on Saturday evening.
The attack, which took place at around 6:30 p.m. local time at the Wuxi Vocational Institute of Arts and Technology, was reportedly carried out by a student upset over failing an exam and being denied a graduation certificate.
Ali Larihani, a senior advisor to Iran's supreme leader, denied claims that Iran is sabotaging efforts to broker a ceasefire.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement
abrupt
of
end
fact.
to the news in 60 there.
Checking and corrections are
Ceasefire.
encouraged.
We gotta get some in here, please.
Ceasefire! 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 Oh, ceasefire. I don't know what's going on over there.
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Hot coffee.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I don't think so. Look a little white.
My dog
Look a
is
little
your
white.
mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
You make me laugh. No, you make me laugh. No, you make me laugh. Gang, gang. I don't know. There has to be a shorter version of that somewhere. Good morning, America, and the rest of the shitty world.
Wake up, America. Hey. You've got a dog that needs walking.
I'm out of control. What can I say? Out of control. The loop button is off, but it looped anyway. Good morning. America and the rest of the shitty world is where I started saying, right? Yeah, I did. It is Monday, November 18th, 2024. Just another dreary day in a dreary existence. Today, we're going to have an author, Anne Riley, who has written a book called, what is it called? It's The Human Idea. The Human Idea, that's what it's called. And I don't know whose idea humans were, but it wasn't a good idea. I think it was a mistake, and we'll talk about that. Probably talk about climate change, talk about the ecology, talk about how we're all doomed, and why Joe Biden is in the rainforest. You know, Biden has got me really confused. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Everything that you're doing is going to be undone 2 months from now. Why even bother? There's only one thing that you could be doing that would be productive right now, and I don't want to talk about that because Secret Service would be here. Oh, they're here instantly. There's only one thing you can do. Everything else is just, I don't know what the hell he thinks he's doing. Like, I'm just going to put on a show here. He's been quiet since he lost that debate, like stumbling and mumbling and sniffling and stuttering. And now, all of a sudden, he's got a lot to say. He's all over Twitter constantly. You can call it X. I'll call it Twitter. But talking about this and that and the other, you're not doing anything. Now, he gave Ukraine, I guess, permission? Like they needed permission, or did they already have the missiles to launch long-range missiles into Russia? And, Twitter, oh, he's starting World War III. There's not going to be World War III. Because what would it last? It would last until Trump's inauguration. Putin already owns America. Why? He's got his puppet taken over. He's not going to start a war. He just fought a Cold War, an invisible war to take over America without firing a shot. Why would he risk getting nuked back? It just doesn't make any sense. There's not going to be war. Just stop with the stupidity. Really, stop with the stupidity. Joe Scarborough and that Mika phony bitch have met with Donald Trump. You can't turn off all your cable TV. I turned off cable TV in 2008. And I've turned off all TV in 2008. And I don't regret it one bit. But you know what? These people, MSNBC, at war with Trump for 8 years. He's, calling Joe Scarborough a murderer, calling her a fake face, whatever, and lots of other things. An idiot. And then we need the ratings. We're just going to go meet with them now and kiss ass. People are disgusting. It's just, if you haven't had it with the human race, this is why humans are a bad idea. And on that note, I think I need to clear up because I'm hearing through back channels. I hate this shit, man. Why I left the Rockin' 45s. People are saying this because of Trump. He actually left the band because of Trump. You fucking idiots. I didn't leave the band because of the election. I didn't leave the band because of Trump. If Kamala Harris would have won the presidency, I probably still would have left the band when I did. And it comes down to this. I don't want to be around bad people, shitty people, people who are going to celebrate cruelty and inhumanity, people who are looking forward to the military coming and dragging people out of their homes to deport them, people looking to give. And I know you don't think this is going to happen, and this is why you're fucking stupid and clueless. When women get menstrual cycle cards and they're going to be asked to produce them because you know what, we don't want you having abortions, and we're gonna force this on you at a policing level. Cops are going to be pulling you over and let me see your menstrual cycle card. Yeah, it's going to happen. They weren't fooling about this. All these things that they want to do. When women start dying en masse from infections and complications due to miscarriages and things like that, people are going to be certain people are going to be celebrating it. And one of those people who's going to be celebrating it is the front man for the Rockin' 45s. And I'm not standing next to that guy. I refuse to stand next to a Nazi and smile and just be okay with it. So that's why I left the band. It has nothing to do with Trump. Trump gave him permission to be the evil motherfucker that he is. And it gave a lot of people permission to be the evil, cold-hearted, inhumane fuckers that they are. Those people I cut out of my life. I still have some friends who call themselves Trump supporters, but here's the difference. I don't believe they are evil. I think they're just ignorant, willfully ignorant in some cases, but don't believe. A lot of people don't believe that he's going to do the things he promised to do on the inhumane front. Truth is, he is. Or he's going to at least attempt to. So it's those people who don't believe it. They're not evil. They're just ignorant. And so I have not cut those people out of my life. But the majority of people who are going to be celebrating as the military comes to grab women, children, grandparents out of their house and deport them. Fuck those people. I don't want to be around them. So that's what happened. Stop saying, "Oh, you left the bed because of the election." No, all the election did was strengthen my resolve to not want to be around these people. That's what it did. So it's not because, and listen, I'm in New York. Nobody in New York helped Donald Trump get elected. Even if they voted for him, they didn't help him get elected. We are one of the few states that still have a majority of the people with some humanity. So I'm getting text messages now from people responding to what I just said. Fuck you. Just fuck yourself. Really. Thank you. So yeah, we'll meet Ann Riley, I believe, at 10:15. We have an hour to kill with the dog pound, and oh my God, it's just going to be just dreadful. We do have tomorrow. Scott Zank will be with us, and on Wednesday, Elizabeth Croydon will be with us. Yesterday, I put out after slacking for the last 2 weeks on the guest stuff. Yesterday, I put out some stuff on Facebook in one of the podcast guest groups, and then some of my publicists started coming through. So now the calendar is full for the next month. Here's just a little programming note that could go to hell after this week. We're getting off of StreamYard. Been on StreamYard for more than 6 years now. Loyal customer. And I'm not the only one who is leaving StreamYard. We will be on OneStream, which is part of Streamlabs right now, starting next week. But we haven't tested it out, and the interface is a little different. I'm not sure how things will work there. There will definitely be some bugs as part of it. Now, you know, some people are equating this to, and let me just tell you why. StreamYard has raised prices on us, doubling them 3 times in the last year. Just doubling the price. You know what? We'll double it and double it again and double it again, without any notice or without improving the service one bit. And it's just like, you know what? This is just greed. It got taken over by a corporation. It was founded by 2 guys, StreamYard, and it was reasonably priced. And then they sold to a corporation who just keeps doubling the price. Doubling. Not just raising the prices, doubling it. And so I finally had enough of them just taking advantage and decided to pull a trigger yesterday and buy the new service over on Streamlabs OneStream. But a lot of people are equating that with the people threatening to leave Twitter. You know, it's not the same thing. This is a service I pay for, and I'm not getting any increase in quality, but I've gotten increases in prices, severe increases in prices, and just had enough. So we are, there's no going back. Canceled. The billing cycle starts on Saturday, canceling it as a Friday afternoon here on Streamlab, and we will be on OneStream starting. And now for you in the audience, all that means is more bugs while we figure out how to work the interface. Now I saw that maybe we won't have GD as a co-host next week because Ron and Steven have both already accepted their invitation on there and are listed as co-hosts. GD hasn't. He has until I think like 1 o'clock this afternoon before they pull down the invitation that I sent them. And we can't resend it for another month. So we could lose GD for whatever reason. He just has not accepted his invitation yet. I told him you have 24 hours and the clock is ticking. So that could be one thing. Anyway, we are moving on here. Opus Clip is our sponsor today. Opus Clip is a AI. Well, there's some arguments about that, whether this truly AI. I've seen people arguing about Opus Clip on various social media platforms. It's AI enough that it sounds like a robot reading Wikipedia, according to Ian, who is pretty correct on that. But if you want to edit long form videos, Opus Clip can help you do that, and that's not really AI. That's just it's just chopping up stuff for you. It's still human beings talking. It's just AI editing. Anyway, Opus Clip. The link is in the description. I would appreciate it if you patronize our sponsors. Opus Clip. There you go. shower on the plane. Yeah. It's a long song too. Maybe it should be fun. Yeah. I say yeah. When I say yeah, that means you could undo the yeah-ness of the whole thing. Pull it all down. Good morning, fellas. In the room with me right now are Ron, the grumpy old man Kane, Stephen, the young grumpy old man Ortiz, and Mr. EC Fuck. EC Fuck.
Good morning, America. Thanksgiving. Oh, MindDogTV.com.
Yeah, right.
Thanksgiving is 10 days away. Have you finished your Christmas shopping? If not, go to MindDogTV.com and surprise someone with one of our products.
I haven't.
Mainly surprise us. Someone brought one of our products? Damn.
No product.
MindDogTV.com. Yeah. Support your local mercenaries and enjoy the suffering.
Yeah. Yeah, let me. Somebody's asking me, is this audio or video or both? Like, why would there be just video with no audio? That's a bizarre.
Maybe it's a program for deaf people. It's all subtitles. I don't know.
FYI, Matt, I did accept the invite. Matt, I did accept the invite.
You're not listed as a co-host. You're not listed. Stephen and Ron are. Are you sure you know how to accept invites?
It was funky, the accepting of the invite thing. So
see that?
Yeah, and I wasn't sure that I did it right because it didn't look right to me, but I did accept it. And then I tried to. So I went. I mean, even Streamlabs even sent me an email congratulating me on joining Streamlabs. The problem is I wasn't convinced I was in the host because I didn't see anything that looked like I was hosting, and I tried to. I went back to the email and tried to do the invite thing again, and it says my email address is invalid. So, but my email address is correct on the thing.
Well, apparently you went to the Stephen Ortiz School of Technical Proficiency.
No, because I didn't have a problem.
Well, you weren't a good teacher when you taught your class on how to click on an email link, I guess. If old man Ron King could do it, look how he's like 107 years old. He's older than Joe Biden, and he could do it. So,
and he's still 17 years. He's still like 17 years younger than me. So okay.
Wow,
so he's old.
Really, 17 years?
I don't know how old Ron is. I think he's 27. I'm not sure.
Wow. He's very quiet. He's the quiet man. That's what we call him. They made a John Wayne movie based on the life of Ron King called The Quiet Man.
I think that would be the cool. I don't think that's quite the title.
The Queefing Man? Is that what you're going to say?
The Queefing? Did you say Queefing?
You guys hear of Chris Langan?
No.
Good for you. God bless you. Remember last week, I was talking about a guy on Long Island who said he was smarter than Einstein, or Einstein's theory of special relativity was wrong. And this guy is actually a spray technician in a factory. This is his job.
Well, he works with lasers, but yeah.
Yeah. It seems to me that this has become epidemic where people want to claim that they are super geniuses. And like Terrence Howard, and now this guy, Chris Langan, who I discovered over the weekend, who's been around for a while. He's 72 years old, apparently. He's a bouncer in a bar who claims to be the smartest man in the world. He claims he has an IQ somewhere in the range of 190 to 215. He has not produced any documentation that says that. But people are taking him. He's a total fraud. Like he claims he has a theory of everything, but he doesn't even understand what the phrase "theory of everything" means. He doesn't even understand what a theory is, and this is pretty clear. But he's been on news shows. People are interviewing him, and he's just bullshitting people, like Terrence Howard, just talking word salad. He might have an IQ somewhere, let's just say, 120 or something, somewhere in that, because he can remember words that sound like he's an educated person. But when it comes to math, science, he just flunks simple, rudimentary concepts, and he had no idea. He can't show any of it in like words in math. But it's epidemic where we're having these people claim I'm a super genius, and people just take them seriously, and then they give them this platform. Well, today we'll be talking to the smartest man in the world, and he's just a dopey bouncer. Well, he's the kind of guy you would run into in a bar at 2:00 in the morning and say, yeah, sure, yeah. You'd be shaking your head, and then but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, this guy's a total fucking imbecile. And that's who Chris Lockett.
That sounds like one of those fun guys you run into at the bar when you're drinking, and you're just like, this dude's fucking wild. Let's ask him about aliens now. You know?
Well, he has it. He talks about God and aliens and all this stuff. He's got his theories his claiming theories of everything. Like he knows a fact about God and the existence of God, and can tell you if you're going to heaven or hell. It's just.
So why is this guy not rich and famous?
Well, they asked him that, and he said because he worked in a factory, and it was just too loud for him, and he couldn't get ahead because all the black people and all the affirmative action. Because you go for a job. I went for a job as a cop, but there were 3,000 black people in front of me online because of affirmative action. They get 30+ points. Like, hello. Being a cop wouldn't make you fucking rich anyway. Why are you not rich? I have this incredible IQ, smarter than Einstein, but I can't figure out how to make a buck. And he, just word salad. That's an obvious question. Why are you a fucking bouncer in a bar? He's retired now. He's not even a bouncer in the bar. He read a book. He read one of some of Einstein's works. He read Bertrand Russell, and he thinks that qualifies him. But it's not about him. It's about this epidemic of people just claiming to be geniuses. Why is this happening? Why are people just trying to act like geniuses, but not really? They have no schooling, no education, no training in any of the higher mathematics or science disciplines at all. But they just want to go out and people are buying into it and give them a platform. This is the time we're living in. So I don't have.
I think it comes down to we live in a time where alternate information is like rampant and widely accepted, because now anybody can create a platform, and as soon as they get a small following, people start taking them semi-serious, and then they get this big head, and Terrence Howard is the perfect example.
Yeah, let me. I'm going to just show you a picture of the guy if I can. I'm not. I don't want to. Maybe I should just.
Is this fair use?
Huh?
Is his image fair use?
This is him.
Thing as the official, recognized IQ test that will definitively tell you what your true IQ score is. Right? There's like the test that he took. There's a bunch of like online tests. There's tests that you could take that are different from various, psychologists' offices, right? They're like, how would you standardize this? Like, there would have to be something, right? And not everybody would have access to the same people, the same tests. This is probably why they got rid of it. I don't think it's just PC.
And also at the time, as I said.
All right, that's enough of it. The people discussing whether he's a fraud. Well, I'm glad some people are at least asking whether he's a fraud. But the first question, none of these fucking journalists, and he's been on a lot of high profile platforms, not one of them has the balls. He's pretty big, right? And I'm just thinking they're intimidated by his size to say, let me see some fucking documentation about what test did you take that did your mother give you to tell you were a fucking super genius? Wait, got any proof of this whatsoever?
I mean,
none.
If he's a genius, why not go take a Mensa test? And that right there would shut everybody up in one swoop.
Well, before you even get to that, nobody has even challenged him on that. They just accept it. Like if I could go out and just say, well, I have a 300 IQ, no, but then he'll talk like me, like a fucking imbecile. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to quantum physics, and clearly neither does he. but they just accept it. Like, oh yeah, you sound like a regular idiot on the street, but you're claiming to be super intellect. At least
That's what I call schlong division. That's what I call schlong.
See, that's looping, isn't it? We don't have the loop button on. What the fuck is with that?
Yeah.
Fuck StreamYard. I don't know how any of that stuff is going to work on the new platform. It's still
I logged in and I pulled it up. I accepted everything on my phone. Then I logged in on my computer to look at just how things were laid out, and I was like, "Oh boy, this is." Oh.
Yeah. So Anne Riley will be here to talk about the human idea. It's basically, I think, mostly about climate change and ecology and nature and all this stuff. But I just want to say, if there is a God, he failed. He failed. He totally failed at this human experiment. I think, and this, super genius epidemic that we're having is definitely part of where, we just believe in anything ridiculously stupid that comes down the pike. People can sell anything, and this is how we ended up in the world of Trumpism. So, yeah. Anyway, you guys have a decent weekend. Did you perform at all? Nothing.
No. I didn't perform, but I booked some gigs and spent time with the family, did yard work, good stuff.
Where did you book gigs?
I have a gig this Friday in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, and then I'll be in Angola Saturday.
Prison.
And then no, Angola, Indiana, and then next Wednesday back at Summit City in Fort Wayne. But this weekend though, was just booking gigs and having fun.
All right. Are you? Is that somebody else's gig that you're on, or are you that? What are you doing? Are you featuring? What are you doing?
Let's see. On Thursday in Kalamazoo, I'm just one of the. It's just a guest spot, and then on Saturday another guest spot.
Guest spots. Now that you're traveling a long way for these guest spots, right?
About an hour 40 for one, and then
are you living up to the
the
commitment that you made to yourself about a week ago?
Yes, I am not traveling and performing for free. Correct.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Gas money. Gas money.
A little more than gas money. Not a lot more, but like I can get gas money and some McDonald's on the way home and be okay. So.
McDonald's, eh?
Yeah, man.
My wife brought me a quarter pounder yesterday, and I would not eat it. I was I was afraid of getting E. coli.
Oh well, I mean, to be fair, I really only eat the chicken from McDonald's. So,
but the E. coli thing was specific to quarter pounders, right? I think that was
onions. I think we said,
and that's what she brought me, a quarter pounder, and I was like, yeah. And she was giving me like flack for even bringing up that this has been a thing. Like,
it's not a conspiracy theory; it was a known fact,
right? And we are just this part of the human problem right now. Anything that doesn't fit into what we want to believe, we stick our head in the sand and say it's not true. It can't be true because I don't want to believe it. This is, Carl Sagan was right. We are heading back into the dark ages. So, my opinion of humans, we deserve to fucking be extinct. It couldn't happen fucking fast enough, in my opinion. Well, let's just fucking pull the plug on this whole fucking experiment.
I can't say I'm there to where like I want them all to go away, but I definitely wouldn't miss like half.
I'm not. It's not talking about you too. It's not like you would be around to miss anybody. I think we should just pull the plug on the whole fucking planet, just destroy it up, blow it up, fucking kill us all. And like,
well, maybe that's why the aliens are here. They're trying to reach us about our planet's extended warranty.
Yeah. This whole thing about the aliens. I know you're like, you want this to be true, don't you, Mulder?
I do so bad.
Why?
Because I truly think that if we were facing a global threat from an alien species that at some level we would have to put some differences aside and be like, we either have to come together and face this threat or just accept it and kiss our asses goodbye. In which either way I'm cool with. But
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, no,
the only way that would work is if the aliens are colorblind and they can't see brown people. Okay, so they're only attacking white people, and then the white people will be like, you know something? We need allies. Hey, brown people, bail us out. And then the brown people have to say, do we want to save you or not?
This is gonna sound really bad, but I think the aliens probably would want the black people over us anyway.
I know I'm talking about to dominate. When it comes to white people out, they're colorblind. It's like my cat. My cat was a predator, but there were certain color insects he couldn't see. As soon as they stopped moving, they could be right in front of him. My cat would go like this. He couldn't find them. Didn't know where they were. And that's what I think would be like with the aliens. They can't see brown people. They come in and wipe us out, and they got their little ray guns and they want to shoot, and we just stand still like this. And they're like, where'd he go? God damn it. And then they start yelling things like, smile so we can see you. But, because the aliens are also racist.
Now, I mean, I while I do want it to be true, part of me's scared that if they do come, they're going to be, they're going to see us as, incompetent, self-harming maggots and just wipe us out. But
unless
what would they gain out of that? None of it makes any sense to me. If they want it,
none of it makes sense. But I mean, maybe at the core of it, it's just they're exploring, and then they come across us. They see that we're violent, and we could pose a threat at some point.
But it's also possible that the aliens were actually forced to leave their planet because they're like it's like we're their Australia. Okay, and the other planet was like England, and they said, "Look, we can't have these criminals." So they put them on a ship, and they sent them out, and boom, they land here. It's like, fuck, this is our Australia, and they start to fuck things up here.
I don't know. I think this is maybe more like the ghetto more than anything. Like they lock their doors when they drive by. They don't let their kids visit. They're like, "Oh, there's Earth." They're like, "No. We're going to Mercury. We don't stop there." I don't blame them.
I do blame them.
We shoot everything out of the sky anyway, so
according to like all the estimates where life could, how many planets exist that where life could be supported on it, to come to this one out of all of them, it just doesn't make none of it makes any sense from a logical standpoint.
There's very few people that'll disagree with you. There's no reason that they should be coming here, but something is.
But we're also
what you say? What something is?
Something is.
No,
I mean,
you don't know that. Prove it. Can you prove that right now?
I think that there is proof. I just don't think it's out there yet. I don't think it's been released yet. I mean, if you listen to the congressional hearings, they full on admit that there are people that are receiving government benefits from being injured through UFO and UAP interactions. They said that 90% of the things that people see are explainable, but there's a small percentage that cannot be explained by conventional aircraft, conventional physics, conventional thought process of how things move through the sky and through the water. So there is something. I don't think anyone can fully say, except for the people that already know, if they're aliens or not, but they could be.
Did you watch the hearings?
I did.
With those 4 experts.
Yeah. I watched all the hearings. I actually live streamed the hearing on Twitch.
Okay, and you realize that 2 of them believe that there's something out there, and the other 2 are still kind of skeptical. They're like,
two of them have evidence to show that they've worked with many programs in the U.S. government that both openly and behind closed doors investigated UFOs and UAPs thoroughly. Some of them have had more access than the other 2. The two that believe that there are actual aliens here are people that have had hands-on access to these programs, the documents, the photos, the videos, and the people that have done the work and can prove they've done the work. The other 2 are a little more outside of that loop, but are still high up in their classification and everything else. So, and a lot of it, they still
give me the names, and if you say Jeremy Corbell, I'm gonna fucking smack you.
No, No. I while I enjoy some of his films, no. No. There's Luis Elizondo.
Luis Elizondo has been on the program. He's full of shit. Go ahead, next.
Has he really?
Yeah.
Well, that's neat.
Yeah.
Hold on, I don't remember the other two names off the top of my
It's
head.
neat that he was on the show, or neat that he's full of shit. What's the neat part?
Both.
Let's see here. Let's see UFO here. There we go.
You don't know. Basically, you're looking it up.
Compelling.
No, I just don't remember the other two names off the top of my head. I can vaguely remember the one, but I'm trying to remember the names.
But so you can't remember their names, but you were willing to take everything they said carte blanche truth. Right?
No. I took it all with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, I didn't like they gave really vague answers. They refused to answer a lot of questions outside of a closed session, and I don't like it. I don't buy it. Part of me thinks it's part of a misinformation campaign just to try to get everyone distracted from the shit that's going on in the real world. But they still might have something there because obviously Congress is taking it serious. But right now the answers are bullshit. The reports are bullshit. They're just giving a lot of vague answers.
Let me go. Congress was taking the Hunter Biden stuff seriously. The Congress was taking. You want to talk about the things that Congress took seriously?
When I say Congress takes it serious, there's like 5 or 6 people that take it serious. I understand that. That. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like a bunch of molders got together and said we need a side show to kind of get people off of talking about what's really going on in the world. Let's have a dog and pony show, and that constitutes a reason for you to believe that they're telling the truth. Because I say that because you said with a blanket statement, they're here. We know they're here. No, we don't know they're here. I don't know they're here. I've been exploring. Let me just finish my sentence here. I've been exploring this topic for more than 40 years and have really looked. I've gone to places like the Montauk Air Base and all these where places have. And I've been to Roswell. I was in Roswell in 1976 before Sheldon Freeman wrote his book. I've been all around checking this stuff out and have never seen any evidence and looked very hard for it. So from that, really working hard to find and see some of the evidence, have seen none of it. But you can say, have you seen any evidence for yourself?
I've had 3 UFO encounters myself. Yes.
3 UFO. Have you seen evidence that they are from another planet? On
no,
any?
But again. While I believe that they are, the evidence is yet to be seen, and I agree with that statement 100%. Until there's undeniable evidence, there has to be. You have to accept it with a grain of salt because
what led you to believe that they are from another planet?
Because I think it's borderline narcissistic to think we're the only intelligent life in the universe.
That's not what I said. I didn't say there's not other intelligence.
And because
what
I think
led you to believe what you saw was from another planet?
I mean, my limited understanding on how aircraft work. I mean, we know aircraft can't go from the sea to the sky to space and back fluently, but there's
video evidence. You've never seen Stingray and Thunderbolt 5.
I don't know what that means, so probably not.
They're shows from when I was a kid. They're done with puppets. Remember what is it? World Peace, America World something, America World Peace.
Team America World Police.
Right, that one. It's the original versions of what they were based on.
Oh, is that where they? I think I vaguely remember hearing that they got the inspiration for that from that.
Not and inspiration. They fucking stole it all.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's it's a really good homage. It's a really good homage or Grand Theft
Fair enough.
puppet.
Have you heard of TWA Flight 800?
Oh yeah, didn't that go down in like 99 or 98?
98.
Yeah.
I was an eyewitness to it. I was driving from East Hampton to Boston that night. and exactly what you just described. It's something that looked like it was from another planet, came from in the sea, or looked like it came from in the sea, straight up, but it actually happened to be from a naval vessel that shot the missile.
Yes, but missiles can't make right-hand turns in the air.
It did.
No, they cannot. That's a physical impossibility. It cannot make a right-angle turn.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. It did from an optical perspective. You can see it make a right-hand turn. Okay. So you're just saying, "Oh no, you can't." You're a fucking retard. A fucking retard. You're coming up with saying, "Oh no, they tell me so. It can't be true." 9,000 eyewitnesses said it made a fucking right turn. Okay. That can't happen. It can. Optical illusions can happen.
So you're saying I'm wrong based on your one instance?
No, I'm saying.
What makes what you're saying any more right than what I'm saying?
You're saying things can happen. People can't. Things that can happen that have happened more than just that one instance. You're saying blanket statement because people told me this can't happen. It doesn't. It didn't happen. You're basing everything. No, you're coming out with a blanket statement. You did. You did. You said they're here. You said they're here.
My personal belief is they're here. Yeah.
Thanks, Stephen, for being part of the program. He's bounced. We're going to take him out of StreamYard and remove him from the show completely. I'm not fucking having this conversation with a fucking moron. Sorry. Gone. So that's where we're at today. Go join the Trumpers. Anyway, we do have somebody coming up at 10:15 who will actually talk about human people on this planet, not fucking ideas about Mulderism. Team setting. Here we are. I'm doing. I'm taking care of team stuff.
Like in Team America World Police? What team stuff? Like like the football stuff?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like the StreamYard team, removing Steven's access. Oh, what are you hurt? What are you hurt? There you go. All right. That's that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna play some. I'm gonna play this clip while I get something to drink here.
Suffolk police say 40 cars were involved in one incident at the Ronkonkoma Long Island Railroad Station parking lot. Officers were able to safely stop the activity and arrested 2 people. Nassau and Suffolk County Police responded to 2 illegal street takeovers on Saturday night. Suffolk police say 40 cars were involved in one incident at the Ronkonkoma Long Island Railroad Station parking lot. Officers were able to safely stop the activity and arrested 2 people. Police say Jason Marino, 24, of Medford, was charged with aggravated unlicensed operation. Mitchell Watson, 19, of Ronkonkoma, was cited and issued several traffic tickets. Police also discovered a large illegal car rally on 711 Stewart Avenue in Uniondale. They say Daniel Tiburcio, 25, of Wantap, was arrested and charged. He was arraigned on Sunday at 1st District Court in Hempstead. Nassau police have since released the following statement. If you take part in this unlawful activity, you can expect a robust police response. You will be ticketed or arrested and we will seize your car. In addition, we are in communication with our partners in the NIPD and Suffolk County Police. There will be no safe haven.
Oh, look how white I am. I got white.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm white. So that's AI news. She can't say Ronkonkoma. Anyway, now, so yeah, you guys want to bail, you can bail. I'm I'm serious about that. If you want to bail, you can bail. I'm gonna have a guest at 10:15. I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not gonna put up with. See, Steven's been banned from the program. He's been removed from the team. And we move forward. So that's basically where we're at.
Okay.
Okay. You have any comment on it?
I'm not yet. I'm still processing.
Okay.
I'm still processing. I'm yeah, buffering.
Okay. All right. Ian says, when was the last time the government told the truth? Rarely. Rarely told the truth. So, but we don't know what's the truth and what's not the truth unless you have hands-on experience with it. I was talking about hands-on experience. And again, I've asked a lot of people who've worked in the government, been at places, been at facilities, show me the actual proof. I had one guy, there was supposedly a UFO crash in Santa Mauritius Bay, and artifacts were recovered. He claimed that artifacts were recovered. Well, did you bring them? No, we can't bring them. The government confiscated them. Well, then they don't exist. They don't exist. If you can't show them, and these people, part of the people in Congress, or we have recovered live. Where are they? Can you show them? Oh, we can't show you. What the fuck are you doing here? You're just talking. If you can't actually bring the evidence, here it is. Then it doesn't exist. I mean, why just keep on talking about it? So, I have no patience with that. You're just gonna fucking go, well, I know they're here. People are here. No, you don't know they're here. You want to believe they're here. You can believe they're here. You're free to believe that. But if you're gonna say I know they are, and then say, well, where's the evidence? I really have no evidence. I saw things that while I believe they were from another planet. Well, what led you to believe they were from another planet? Well, because they can't make a right turn or whatever. Things can absolutely. Shooting stars can make a right turn according to the human eye. Things can definitely look like deceptive in every single way. But to say, well, I believe they're from another planet. Well, what led you to believe that from another planet? The truth is, what led you to believe that they're from another planet is stories that people have made up about them coming from another planet over and over and over again. That's the answer. The folklore, legends, stories have led you to believe, well, I saw something I couldn't explain. It must be from another planet. So,
but they have like hundreds of TV shows, like alien stuff on the history, and it's on the History Channel. And if it's on
that's
the
what
History
I'm saying,
Channel,
legends.
But it has to be true because that's history. It's the History Channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's on the History Channel, it has to be true.
Absolutely. That's why I call it history. It's absolutely everything on there is true. So, and Hitler is in Brazil and Argentina, and everywhere else.
I totally read that. I thought they said Hitler had a Brazilian. My fault. I misinterpreted that.
Ian saying he never heard Matt scream that loud on the mic before. Go back to the Dean O'Hara ejection. When Dean O'Hara was part of the program and I ejected him, I believe at least the same decibel situation there with Dean. So it's not like, I hate to break it to Stephen, but he's not the first person to get ejected for just being a total moron. Fucking moron. And I don't have any patience for it. Obviously, people are saying, well, he's just, overreacting. No, I'm not overreacting. I'm not going to put up with silliness and just conspiratorial thinking and magical thinking or people contributing going back to the Dark Ages. Just not doing it. Anyway. More people are now bailing. More guests bailing. And I'm okay with it. I'm fine with shutting the whole fucking thing down. Anyway, more of this going on. You guys got
Now,
anything?
tell me about the news thing, because I didn't find the link for us to create.
I didn't give you the link. I said basically, if you wanted a link, I would give you one, but I didn't. You didn't say yes, I want one, so I never sent one.
Oh, okay. That's because last thing I did was I asked a question. I think about when was there a time constraint?
I think you're mixing up two different things.
Oh, okay.
One is the new platform, the new platform, which is OneStream, and the other one was this news app that I bought. Here's the thing. Here's the deal. You got all these AI marketing things that will, like Parrot. Well, not really like Parrot, because Parrot is celebrities and stuff. But these AI things where you can get avatars to do anything you want.
Kind of like in video.
News, like like
in
that
video.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, and video doesn't have avatars.
Well, there was one I thought there was one I
used. The one with the woman that was used on church, but that was I forget what talk.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Talk AI or something, yeah.
Right. In video was the one that just gave me videos. Got it.
It's sort of like that, but it's news people. It's intended to do news, fake AI news stuff that looks like broadcast news.
Okay.
But the intention there is, what they don't like. That woman couldn't say Ronkonkoma. She said Ronkonkoma. But I was thinking you could use it to not use it for news, even though it's intended to be for news. You can get there's probably, I'd say, 100 avatars on there, and you can change their voices, and you choose the voice that you want for them, and they will say any script that you want up to 1,500 words. Which it doesn't always come. Yeah, I had to put it into Premiere to make it look like that news thing. This
Suffolk police say
that thing. That's basically you just get her on a gray background.
Suffolk police say 40 cars were involved.
Okay.
But then I put her into Premiere and with the background and all that kind of stuff. But I'm thinking you can make them say just about anything. There's no. But it's not a monthly service thing. It's an app that I bought $15 and now unlimited use, so we can do them all day long.
That is, first of all, I'm impressed that they actually sell things like that anymore, because everything's a subscription. And I miss the days of just buying an app, just outright buying an app and say, this is what I wanted. I don't want to keep upgrading and being nickel and dimed and raising the price every few months. So I'm impressed by that.
A cloud-based app, which doesn't. And there are, if you're in these marketing email, I get them all the time for this one-time low price, which is the benefit. But it's shitty. I mean, obviously, nobody's going to.
Suffolk police say 40 cars were involved.
It's a real newscast. Nobody with any intelligence would believe that's a real newscast. You know what? Maybe I get them to say stuff about UFOs landing in Indiana today. Maybe some people will believe it, but nobody in their right mind would actually believe that's real. It's not. The lip sync is not perfect. All this stuff is not perfect. But you know what? I thought, well, I could use it for long form jokes and stuff like that. But they're not going to crack a smile. I don't know. So that's what I say. If you got up to 1,500 words, you can put in there, and we can get them this. My thought was to get them to replace.
This is News in 60 with Alan.
That shit. Just taking news stories and paste them in there, and not have to do with Alan Edwards fake news, which is a monthly subscription thing, and I just don't want to pay that anymore.
Okay.
So that's what that was, but that's different than the invite to OneStream.
Right. Got it.
I think you were confusing the two different things. I never sent a login to that. I will if you want.
I do. I thought I remember now. I just thought I asked a question about it, but I can't remember. I can't remember all the things I interact to now. I'm not drinking enough. I don't think I'm drinking enough.
You're not drinking.
Yeah, that could be fun, especially with some like celebrity stuff. Like I've been playing.
Ron, you're breaking up, Ron. You're breaking up.
Breaking up, Ron.
Yeah, it's like every other syllable I'm hearing.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry I lost my temper with Stevie there, but he's just, he got to me. He got under my skin with this fucking being part of the Joe Rogan kind of thought processes. Like, oh, I saw it on the internet, it must be true. That kind of fucking stuff. I want to encourage fucking, constructive conversations about some of these things. But when you're just making blank statements, well, we know they're here. Go hang with Willie with that. Really, I got it. I got no room for that here. And not like there wasn't a warning sign. You could see the fuse burning on top of my head. So. Anyway,
honestly, I thought that was just the light reflecting. I'm sorry, because the headset, the headphones gives off a little
spark every now.
Well, the top of the headset was blocking the stem, so all I just saw was sparks. I didn't see like the stem for a fuse. You have to move the headset like behind the fuse so that we can see the fuse.
Yeah, I thought Ian was there for the Dean Harris thing. Now the Dean Harris thing did get, you know what? It's good for ratings when you scream at people.
Okay.
It is. The Dean O'Hara thing got like extreme traction. When if you don't know, Dean O'Hara is a guy who he's a Doug Stanhope, Andy Andrews groupie who threatened to kill himself one night on Twitter. And I reacted by saying, don't do it. Here's my phone number. Call me. He did call me. I talked him off the ledge. But then he manipulated that into he wanted to be on the show. I let him be on the show. And then he wanted to be on the show every day. And then he was like, Dean is a handicapped person. He's I think he's got cerebral palsy. But he basically living a life that is taken care of by the government 100%. And he was like really, really like, he's got his maid working behind him. She's coming in to do all his house cleaning and taking care of him while he's arguing about things with me. And one of the things he was arguing about was he wanted to be treated like, just like a normal guy, not like a handicapped guy. But then when you do treat him like Carl or Jamie, who were on the team at the time, you give him the exact same stuff. Then he wanted to play that's off limits. You can't say that. You can't do that about me. Basically, it was like who's the sexiest guy on the team? Not basically Carl, Jamie, Brett Husky Boyo, or Dean, and he took offense to that because nobody voted for him. And he was giving me shit over that. And I was like, lost it on him. I did, and I was screaming at him. And then that was it. Got him kicked off the show. This is what I do. I kick people out of my life. It's been happening. And then the stuff like, and now there will be people saying, "Oh, you see, he just fucking kicked Steven out over UFOs." No, that's what it will come down to. No, it's like I left the band over Donald Trump. No, I left the band over people who were just like celebrating cruelty, and I won't be next to them. That's what you have.
Now, speaking of celebrating cruelty, did anybody watch the fight last night with Jake? Not Jake last night. Friday night? Was it Friday night?
Well,
with
yeah,
Paul and
I have that in showbiz.
What you want to do? You want to do show business and talk about the fight? The fight. I mean, was it a fight?
There's a couple movie things. I mean, the fight was terrible.
What's wrong with your mic? See, one guy leaves and the next guy inherits the mic problems. That's the way it is around here. There we go. I don't know.
Showbiz. I can't do showbiz.
I know. I'm not looking for showbiz. I'll wait and see if one comes back or whatever. On the fight, I'm sure if he won't talk about this. the guy, the main announcer, in the whole thing, with the wrestling voice. Everybody, it's always like everything is at the top of his chest voice, screaming. He could be saying, "I just ordered a slice of pizza," and it would be like that. Like that guy, I don't know what his name is, but that guy in real life has got to be like such a fucking drag on the people in his life. Rosie Perez, do you believe what you just saw? It's like, oh my God, would you fucking calm down? It was not like Howard Cosell or I haven't, obviously, with that statement, I have not watched boxing in a very long time. But it became like ridiculous, over-the-top wrestling commentary. Just like really, really hard to kind of watch and all that kind of stuff.
Do you think Howard Cosell could make it today in boxing like that? I'm telling you about what I just saw. It was incredible. That kind of thing. Actually, that was more like a John Wayne.
I appreciate the effort there. But yeah, you're absolutely right that times demand that wrestling attitude towards it. It's not, but to me, it was just like, this is unwatchable. I'm gonna have to turn the sound off for the whole fucking thing. All right, let's do this.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Showbiz. Showbiz.
Hey, it's Showbiz. Can you hear me now? Does that sound better?
Yes.
Much better. Much better.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think StreamYard gets wonky sometimes, and you just have to leave the studio and come back, and then it works. So.
Well, we're getting rid of StreamYard. I don't know if you heard the news.
Oh no, really? I just
is that in Showbiz? Is that in Showbiz, Ron?
Yeah, it's shutting down the internet. That's what's happening right now. Yeah, so Showbiz, everybody, and yeah, I figured I'd throw this picture in there because it's funny. Because of these idiots all sitting around, then you see RFK's brainworm really digging through his head, and he looks so unhappy, and I'm happy for him.
What this reminds me of is if you were a cop, a narc, and you're trying to infiltrate a drug dealer's circle, they make you do some of the drugs just to prove that you're not a narc. If this is the Healthy Food Commission, in the middle of where an E. coli outbreak by the same fucking company, America is in bad shape.
Well, is that so different than when during the pandemic, Trump decides I'm not going to wear a mask, and when during the solar eclipse, he goes, I'm not going to wear dark glasses. I'm going to stare into the eclipse. It's in that, and this is the other thing that's kind of, I don't know if anybody's even noticed this or not, or maybe they haven't, just it hasn't risen to the surface. But it seems more like the Trump-Musk administration than the Trump-Vance administration. Vance is like almost out of the picture, literally in this one. There is no Vance in this picture,
Well, that's what they've been saying. Like Vance has been missing, and it's either. It's either he's prepping, he's trying to learn what the vice president's job is without a fucking clue, or they've been cutting him out purposely. Like Elon is Trump's new first lady in a lot of ways. It basically,
well, yeah, I mean, it's like anything. We won't know because it's all stages. Like right now is the honeymoon stage. Like there's nothing really at stake at this point. It's just the idiots that keep getting into these positions, that keep getting nominated. The real fun will begin in January.
No, Ron, you said there's nothing at stake. Of course not. They're eating at McDonald's. There is no steak at McDonald's. It's all oh, okay. Yeah.
And all right, Rosie, I gotta tell you right now, we're looking at a picture. I'm sorry.
No worries. So this was the big fight that led to nothing. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. I mean, at least try. Mike Tyson looked like he was half asleep. and Jake Paul looked like he was just doing him a favor by keeping him upright. So if you watched it, that's pretty much what you got. The best fight of the night was the women's fight, the undercard.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. We are at a place in society where, do you appreciate watching women headbutt each other and bloody up and blood flowing from their eyes and just like scarring up a woman's face like that? Is that entertaining?
I didn't see that bout, but if it's good,
if they were guys, I would have liked it. I'll tell you the truth.
Well,
they were guys.
I used to box, and there was I had to box a woman or a young lady. We were all teenagers, and I was like 5'6", 5'7". She was like 6'1". She had a very long reach. We only boxed for 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds. Very seldom were there knockouts. Mostly it was like point system. And I was raised not to hit a woman, and so for the first 2 rounds I wouldn't hit her back. And my coach comes to me in the corner at the beginning, between the second and third rounds. He goes, "Look, she is kicking your ass." And I said, "I can't hit a girl." He goes, "You're going to go to school on Monday, and you're either going to be the guy who got knocked, who lost to a girl, or you're going to be the guy who beat a girl. You have a choice. Those are your 2 choices. You get beat up by a girl, or you beat a girl." So I knocked her out with 1 punch when I went back in. But she was a good boxer. I mean, she was really good. I mean, I was pretty decent at flipping punches and blocking punches, but she set up good punches. I knocked her out with 1 punch, and I feel bad to this day. We became good friends because I felt awful, but she thanked me for treating her like an opponent. And finally, because at first I didn't treat her like an opponent. Same with basketball. I played basketball against women, and some of them are very, very, very good. And they like it when you treat them as equals. That's what they choose. If they choose football, if they choose boxing, if they choose taekwondo, they
okay. But could you address the question? You find women beating each other to a bloody pulp. Do you find that entertaining?
I don't find it any more or less entertaining than I do with men.
Really?
Right.
Wow. Do you find it? Let me come back to. Do you find it entertaining with men? Because I like Victor Antifermo. He was a bleeder back in the day, and would he's just shooting blood all over the place. His face would pop up with welts all over it. I found that compelling. Like I could not turn away. Do you find that entertaining, or are you saying you don't find that entertaining?
Okay, for me, the blood spurting stuff, that's consequence. For me, the actual fight is more like the science of it. Setting the person up, taking a punch, or encouraging someone to throw a punch that you're going to counter as soon as they throw it. I like the mind games and the athleticism of the sport. I'm not crazy about the blood. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. I'm not crazy about. Like I said, when I box, I just enjoyed the actual science and art of it. The blood, same with football. Blood and broken bones. That's a consequence. It's not the sport itself.
Well, I think at least in the program on Friday night, it was part of not just this, because there's headbutting and cutting somebody over the eye, and now that's going to impair them, and this is like a part of the strategy is to headbutt them, cut the head
right. And I'm not crazy about that. Yeah, I don't like that.
Crazy about
it? Right, because they tell you no headbutting. Okay, okay, I didn't see that, so I don't know what instructions they were received before the thing.
Well, they were arguing. The last guy was arguing with Rosie Perez, boxing commentator, basically whether that was intentional or just because of the height differential was just a consequence of the fight. But there were lots of headbutting. It was happening over and over again.
Yeah, you can see you can tell when it's intentional. You don't have to guess. They may not want to come out and say it, but
I couldn't
yeah.
tell. But
I
I have not watched boxing in a very long time, and women's boxing is just a turnoff to me. I'm sorry if that sounds misogynistic or sexist, whatever. I think that's the worst part of men's behavior towards men is this brutality of watching somebody beat somebody unconscious, and we want to see that in women. Like let's all go strive for the lowest common denominator. You know, go ahead. I was just going to say
one of
that
the things I was one of the things I was disgusted with, because this takes it out of the realm of boxing and the science and the art. Like they're talking about his shorts cost $1 million. Who gives a fuck? You know,
right.
my when I boxed, my shorts are probably $3 or maybe $5. You know, I'm so great, Ron.
I was going to say the big thing with this is I think the reason that most people aren't even that upset is because it was on Netflix. Now, if people would have did a pay-per-view and they paid $100 to see this shit,
I tweeted out in the second round how angry I would be if I had to pay for that. Now, a lot of people were complaining about the streaming issues. I didn't have any streaming issues. I'm not sure that was on Netflix or your local cable provider, because Netflix distributes it to your local distributor. Then they have the pushing it out from your local hub to where you are, where your internet provider is, right? That's so I'm not sure Netflix is the cause of the streaming problem. Where I'm getting to is I don't think Netflix did themselves a service by doing this large event that it was going to attempt to be streamed everywhere, and then all you had was people complaining about the streaming on the internet. I don't think they did themselves any favors with that, or the way they broadcast this thing by putting a wrestling-friendly announcer, Rosie Perez, Evander Holyfield, and who couldn't hear, which is right on brand for him because Tyson bit his fucking ear off.
Okay, go ahead, Ron.
This was really a test for Netflix, because in December they're broadcasting 2 NFL games. So this is really just kind of a pre-test, and because of the issues they had, they'll definitely need to address that, because the NFL will be worried that their investment that they put in to fucking putting games on Netflix, if they're going to have issues with NFL games, like shit freezing, that is going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that when I was, as far as the actual fight goes, when I was watching it, like the first round, it was obvious that Jake Paul was afraid that Tyson still had something left in that hook. And Tyson came out like he still thought he had something in that left hook, you know, and so he went out.
Did he land a good solid one though?
Well, that's just it. I think he hit Jake Paul hard enough that Jake Paul decided that, wait a minute, I can take these punches, because it was shortly after that Jake Paul decided that I'm gonna actually stop. You can stop seeing the jitters in Jake, to stop seeing Jake Paul's fear of him, and then it's just more of a respect for, you know, that he's an old, not. I'm not trying to discount Mike Tyson's ability, but let's face it, Father Time is undefeated, and whatever Mike Tyson would have been in 20, 30 years ago, he's not that now. But and even Mike Tyson began to doubt it. You could see it in his face, because in the beginning he started off, he was cutting the ring in half, and Jake Paul was like, you could see he was nervous. You could tell he was nervous and jittery. And like I said, once he got the first punch, once he received it, it's like, oh, okay, I can deal with this.
$40 million for the white guy, $20 million for the old black guy. Right?
Oh well, I'd take $20 million.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for $20 million, I would have at least risked getting knocked out. Listen, it's not like he hasn't been knocked out before.
Yeah.
I mean, You either want to, because if you're doing it for the money, you want to provoke more. You want to, 20 million. Yeah, let's take a chance on winning this thing, and maybe we'll get to fight more white young guys. Or not, but I don't know. To me, the money aspect of it, you play it safe. You could say when there was still 20 seconds left, they both took steps back from each other. And Paul doing the little fucking whatever bow, that's not how boxing works. You fight till the bell rings. I don't know. It felt like a show that we all got fucking taken for. That was my gut reaction to the whole thing. Like, what the fuck?
And that's the funny thing about this is I think as people we all know that this event will not be that great, but then everyone gets sucked in because of the hype and the marketing. Then when you're watching it, you're like, what am I doing with my life at this point?
Yeah. And listening to the commentators argue over why he's biting his glove for whatever, how many minutes that was. I don't. You know what? I don't. Did you guys actually like the coverage of it? The way they
No.
It seemed like that wrestling. I don't know that guy's name. The main guy that was talking the most, the loud guy. When he ran out of things to say, he would hand the mic or make a statement to somebody else, and there would be like dead air. Like, oh, am I supposed to say something here? Back to the description of the fight, and it's like Rosie Perez is supposed to be giving us.
What's her? I thought you were joking when you was talking about Rosie Perez because I didn't hear her voice once. Now, of course, I only watched the second fight. I'm not the second. I only watched the Tyson Jake Paul fight, and I only watched that the next day. Okay, I didn't even watch it the day of. I watched it the next day because I had no real interest in taking valuable time.
Did you watch it with the sound off?
I should have, but no, I didn't.
But you didn't hear Rosie talking now?
Honestly, I don't remember. I honestly thought you were joking when you said that she was talking because I don't remember hearing her talk.
She was one of the main commentators on the whole fucking thing.
Really? In the Tyson Jake Paul fight? Wow.
Yeah.
And
that's
the wrestling guy, that Rosie, he would basically defer to her to be like the color, the play-by-play, or if you would in boxing. He was giving it to her, and she's like, I don't know what to say about this. And she was asking stupid questions of Roy Jones Jr. and Evander, about boxing, about the basics of boxing, like she had never really even watched it before. It was
that between rounds or something? Because the thing I watched was the next day, and they didn't show anything between rounds. It was just bing, ding, 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 and that's it.
No, it was like, Rosie, take it away and describe the fight. Describe the action for the folks.
Wow, I must have been so engrossed in critiquing the fight itself that I didn't hear a damn thing that anybody
At one point,
saying.
she even said, "I really don't know what to say about this." Admitting, this is who hired me for this.
It's wild because I was aware that they was talking in the background. I remember them talking about him biting the glove, and I'm like, stop making such a big deal of him biting the glove. I remember thinking that, and it just.
I think it was Roy Jones Jr. who said it never happened before. There's something weird going on with Mike. And the other guy, the wrestling sounding guy, just kept saying, "No, I watched him his whole career, and he did this is a thing with him. He's always biting the gloves." And I don't remember that as being part of Tyson's shtick. But they were arguing over it. It turned into the show. It's just,
and I remember that maybe it was just I didn't see them introduce who the people talking were. That I didn't realize that those voices had names, and so when I heard a voice, I didn't say oh, that's Roy Jones, or oh, that's whoever. So maybe that's it. Maybe I heard the voices, just didn't have any names to go with them.
Yeah, it was not a good broadcast and I don't think Netflix. I don't think Netflix helped themselves with this. I think at the end of the day, a lot of people were saying ditch Netflix because of the streaming problem. Listen, you got it for free. You get what you pay for, right?
Now, according to Stephen Ortiz, they're having a Netflix wrestling thing in January. So maybe the guy, if this is like their test for the NFL, the guy doing the commentary is like testing, auditioning for WWE.
No doubt about it, this guy is under a Netflix contract. He was pushing every Netflix property during the entire, right from the start when they first went live to in between rounds, or even sometimes in the middle of a round would go to like Ralph Macchio and the Cobra Kai are here, and just like, what the fuck, man? This is a commercial for Netflix properties. That guy is going to be their, I don't know, Bob Costas or I don't know, you like their main go-to sports guy.
So maybe, okay, he said sports guy. So maybe you think he's going to be like doing the voices in Hilarious also. And now your first comedian of the evening, opening up for Mike Birbiglia.
But it would struck me that even when nothing was going on, that guy was talking like that. Like, this is his natural, and he wasn't like what was not Jesse Ventura. There was another guy that was just like over the top, Macho Man or something, like a put on. This is
Randy
that guy's
Savage?
natural voice.
Randy Savage, is that the one that was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come in and rip your neck out and piss down your throat. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This guy, it seemed like that's his natural voice. Like, that's who he is in real life. I can't imagine having being friends with that guy or family with that guy if he's always talking like that. But it seemed like that wasn't a put on to him. That's how he talks. He wasn't screaming. It just sounds like he's screaming the whole time. Anyway,
well, maybe he's hard of hearing and he didn't have his earpiece in, his hearing aid in.
I didn't even stay for the decision. Did you guys stay for the stay with it to the decision? Because I knew Paul had won on points. There was no doubt about that.
Like I said, I watched the replay. Now during the replay, they had commercials, and after like 10 seconds, you could skip the commercial. For the whole thing, I skipped every commercial that I could skip. And then just before the decision, they had like a 4-minute commercial for Donald Trump and his administration. And they would not let you skip out. And so that I didn't hear the decision. I knew what it was from watching the fight. But I said, I am not going to listen to 5 minutes of them touting Donald Trump. And so I cut it off.
Right.
So I knew what the decision was. I just didn't hear it.
So this is Red One. This is that Dwayne Johnson movie that came out this weekend, and it made $34 million. It also released globally. I think they made like 80-something million globally. But if this does not pick up, then this will be another major flop for the studios, especially for The Rock. So we'll see what happens. But it doesn't look good at this point.
Now, which studio did this? Which studio did this? Do you know?
This is MGM. Amazon MGM did this.
Wait, Amazon owns MGM now? They bought it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Or they did it like a co-produce, like they looking for investors, like maybe Amazon.
No,
maybe Amazon wanted to make the movie and said, "MGM, will you help us?"
Yeah, no. Amazon bought MGM, part of some merge a couple years ago or whatever the fuck it is, because that's all those companies have been broken up and now belong to Amazon or like Disney or Peacock or Universal. That is.
That's a fucking shame.
It is really a shame, because that's why movies are so bad, because it's so much corporate influence. The corporations have got in there, and now everything is like a product. So, and they don't care about creativity. They just care about numbers. So this is what you get.
This is what you get. I don't want what I get.
Now, Ron, you're just saying they don't care about, I forgot they don't care about creativity. They just care about the numbers. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
That's what he said.
Okay. Now, the numbers are that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're looking at these numbers, how much it took them to spend how much they spent on making this movie. I'm sure The Rock got paid more than 34 million, just unless he took percentage points or something.
They spent 250 million. That
Okay.
includes $100 million in advertising.
So they must be expecting a lot of shit on the back end, like when it hits television or something, because if it's doing that poorly in the theaters, then their whole premise of star power and throwing money at something over top of creativity is going to like bite them in the ass.
Well, like with this movie being an Amazon movie, what'll happen is that it'll go to Amazon eventually for streaming, but they really won't make money off of that. I mean, maybe for advertising somehow, but not enough to recoup, because it's not like this movie is going to hit Amazon Prime and 100, or 10 million people show up to subscribe. So yeah, it's ugly. It's only going to get worse. This is Gladiator 2 that released this weekend, like in a soft opening, and like globally it made 87 million, and it made like 15 million at home.
Gladiator 2, what's the storyline to Gladiator 2?
Money grab.
Yeah, but the guy here in this picture, I think he's supposed to be Russell Crowe's son. That's it.
Wait a minute, which son is that? Because I thought his wife and kid died, and that's why Russell Crowe went to meet them. Right? Was that just his wife? I thought.
That I don't know. I mean, I checked out when they said we're gonna make a sequel to Gladiator. It's like, what's the fucking point?
Right. It just seemed like the fall of the Roman Empire was already like imminent when at the end of that movie. It just like, where do you go from here? How do you make a sequel to something that already had an ending to it, a definitive ending? It's like,
but I mean, like Denzel Washington is in the sequel, so they probably said, Denzel, we'll pay you $5 million or whatever, and he's like, I'm there.
Wow,
because Denzel is also in the Black Panther movie that's coming up, right? I don't know what he's going to play. I don't know if he's
it's not even written yet. Yeah, he's going to appear in Black Panther 3 at some point whenever that happens. But yeah. So here's another movie that's coming out in 2025. It's Popeye. It's a Popeye movie, and because Popeye now is public domain, it's going to be a horror movie. So he's going to be a slasher.
Wow. He's to open up the spinach. He's opens up his can of spinach before he slices your throat.
Yeah.
He's only hunting women named Olive Oil. What the fuck?
They're gonna CGI Robin Williams in, I think. That's what they So if you're interested, go see it.
If you're interested, is the key line there. Balloonerism.
Yeah. So over the weekend at Travis Scott's music festival, they played some songs from this unreleased album that looks like it is going to be released by Mac Miller. It was recorded back in 2014. It's supposed to be kind of the whole album's experimental and things like that. So a lot of people are excited that we actually may get the release of this album. Because
do you understand what balloonerism is? You being our kink guy, do you understand balloonerism?
I'd have to look. I mean, it could be shoving balloons up your ass and blowing up. Who knows?
There is a community of people. They're called looners. They reach orgasm by popping balloons. The sound of a balloon popping leads them to orgasm, and they have lunar parties. They call themselves looners. And the way they identify where the lunar parties are, the loony lunar parties, they put a balloon on their. This goes back to when people had antennas on their car, but they put a balloon somewhere like an uninflated balloon, like a condom, on a piece of the car, so that if you see that, then you know this is a lunar house, and you can knock on the door and be invited in to come on the sound of a balloon popping.
Now,
I'm not making this up.
does this also work for the bubble stuff, the bubble pack, or is that a different fetish?
No, they basically anything that can make a popping sound. The sound of the popping makes them come. This is
so like
there's a
chewing
whole
bubble, like chewing gum, that kind of thing. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, and apparently
Now that you mention it, I remember now. Now that you bring, now that you've gone into this detail, I remember them now.
Yeah, they're like, it's not a small group of people. It's not like an isolated thing. There are apparently millions of lunars in the United States of America.
You think they call themselves lunatics? You just
no, lunars. They call themselves lunars.
I know, but you would think they call themselves lunatics, just because, or lunatics or something. But
Yeah.
lunars.
A guy I know who committed suicide last year, but he like 10 years ago, he was on Facebook. He said, I don't know, my neighbor, every day I come out and he's got like a fucking condom hanging on his the antenna of his car. And I was like, I think you got lunars in your neighborhood. He was like, what are you talking about? And then I explained it to him and he didn't believe me. He was like, this, you're just making this shit up. I was like, no. And I pointed him to a documentary about it. And then somehow like somebody knew posed as a lunar and went in and said, sure enough, he said he saw it firsthand. They were fucking like popping balloons to come. Fucking insane, man.
Now, Ron, this is semi-related to what this actual story is, but not the balloon part, but the unreleased album part.
Yeah.
And I'm asking this because I can't remember that there was a rap band that recorded an album, but just one album, and it was bid on, and this billionaire bought it. And I can't remember which billionaire bought it.
That was Wu-Tang.
Okay, Wu-Tang. Okay. And
that was that guy, Martin Shkreli, that bought that.
Right. Okay.
Right.
And yeah, that's still in court. And I think
I was going to ask you. Okay.
Yeah, because I think I did a story a couple months ago where he had lost and they were trying to locate the album, and he had to hand the album over to somebody. I forget who that was.
Right.
Okay.
Is he still in jail though? I thought he went into jail, right? Didn't he?
Yeah, I believe he is still in jail.
Wow.
Okay, it was Wu-Tang. Okay, that's all I was at, because I couldn't remember when as soon as you said this, my mind immediately went to that, and I said, "But isn't that still in court or something?" Or
yeah, that's been a long legal battle. So enjoy the suffering, everybody.
I'm already enjoying the suffering.
Yeah, and so just enjoy the suffering. And if you, I seen on the news this morning, or maybe it broke yesterday, but this guy Brandon Carr or something has been appointed to run the FCC, and he is one of the guys who wrote.
He wrote the
Project
chapter
20.
on the FCC in Project 2025.
Yep. So I hope you like censorship, morons.
Right. Well, yeah, everything that we told them that that's not true. He doesn't. He said he doesn't know anything about Project 2025. Yeah, and why he's implementing all of it. He came out at 4:30 this morning because one of his people in the press were saying they're not going to be using the military to drag people out of their houses. And at 4:30 this morning, Trump felt compelled to say, yes, we are. We're going to use the military to drag people out of the, illegals and deport them. So everything in Project 2025 is on the table, being pursued right now. And you all deserve whatever we all get collectively. It's not just doing this to libs or Democrats, or it's doing it to everybody. Everybody will fall under this thing. There is a
do you think they're gonna completely cuckold to him and give him the recess appointees?
Well, here's the thing. Mitch McConnell came out and said there won't be no recess appointments. But Rick Scott said, yes, there will. But would it not be, it'd be too much irony for my small brain to process if Mitch McConnell it turns out to be the one who saves democracy.
The one who helped destroy it. The one who helped destroy it. Yeah. But John, Rick Scott is not. He lost that election for the Senate leader. So that's John Thune. So
it's up to Thune.
Rick Scott says it. Yeah.
Yeah, because of course, Mike Johnson already offered up his ass. I mean, he was literally like, just put it in me. Right. But yeah, I guess the thinking is that Thune he's not going to give up his power. Why would you give up the Senate to the president?
And the other thing is, my question now is, does Mike Johnson have to notify his son every time he gets involved with the Trump meeting? Does he have to let his porn buddy know that he's about to get fucked in the ass?
I don't know. Yeah, but I do think, people are not. Here's the deal. Matt Gaetz, who's slated to head the Department of Justice, is as Attorney General. He basically is asking Mike Johnson to protect him from allowing his the investigation into his ethics violations to go public. That doesn't play with the audience of MAGA people. Like, why would you want it hidden if you did nothing wrong?
Right.
And why would you want an attorney general who is a rapist, who is an admitted pedophile? Not admitted.
Well, they already got a president who's won. Why not?
Right. No, I get it. But they're not even. At some point back when they got the goods on you and you have all the evidence, even, OJ basically knew he was fried, even though he did get acquitted. But I mean, even with all that evidence, the glove and all that kind of stuff, I don't know. Sometimes you just got to say, well, I'm fucked, and bow out. I don't know. Those days are gone.
Yeah. You're right. There used to be a time when politicians and so forth could be shamed into just stepping down.
Right.
I'm willing to bet that right now, if there's an afterlife, that Spiro T. Agnew is looking like, what the fuck? I could have been president.
And how Al Franken is just not kicking himself for saying, why did I resign? I didn't have to resign. What he did compared to what all these other people are doing, it's just like it pales. I did want to mention that another tweet by Trump last night touting about we're coming up on the 5th anniversary of COVID, which actually, it's a couple of months away, but I don't know why he felt compelled to talk about this last night, but he was talking about how great he handled the COVID pandemic and taking full credit for saving millions of lives with Operation Warp Speed, which is the quick rollout of a vaccine. Taking full credit for that. Keep in mind, the guy he just nominated to head Health and Human Services calls that a PSYOP thing. So you're taking credit for a health thing that your main health guy says was a conspiracy PSYOP, deep state PSYOP.
And even then, he didn't take full credit for it until after Biden implemented it. So Biden started to get good results from it. I mean, because in the beginning, my understanding of it is that basically Warp Speed was just a way to mitigate or stop lawsuits against the vaccine companies if they start fucking up. It's like, okay, we're gonna, relieve you of responsibility. You can't be sued. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, but how do they move forward now with your head guy saying that your greatest accomplishment, by your own words, was a psyop, a deep state psyop. Like, how do those two guys not, end up in conflict? Obviously, if one of them's going to go, it's going to be RFK Jr. But how do they coexist in this same bubble? One of them taking credit for the other one is villainizing the same exact thing.
Maybe Trump is just trying to keep, he wanted to get elected. And so he wanted RFK's voters, his whatever his support was. He wanted those people. So it doesn't matter that he doesn't last. It doesn't matter that he doesn't last. As long as he gets in there for a couple of weeks or whatever. Just like what was this? The guy that lasted like 11 days. Michael. No. Damn it. The Mooch. Scaramucci. It lasted 11 days.
Yeah, Anthony Scaramucci. Yeah.
Yeah, Scaramucci.
9 days.
Yeah, 9 days.
Communications director for the White House.
Right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that they don't last. Okay. Matter of fact, he likes the chaos. So that doesn't matter as long as he gets to lob grenades in there. I mean, look, Stefanik. She was a never Trumper. Vance was a never Trumper. I don't even know how many other people.
But he made them change before he put them, like Scaramucci. I get what you're saying, but Scaramucci was not an anti-Trump. He wasn't saying that Trump was. He wasn't saying Trump was wrong about. Like, this is RFK saying the vaccine is dangerous. There are no safe vaccines. Trump saying my vaccine saved the planet. So those seem to be hard to reconcile. It's not the same as the analogies that you were drawing to those other people. Yeah, there were a lot of people who had criticized him, and Marco Rubio with the small hand. I do think that is going to end up, Rubio is going to be sacrificed at some point. He's going to get thrown under the bus sometime in short measure. Trump does not forget about those people who burned him in that way.
He's too petty.
But yeah,
and not in a Richard way. Not in a NASCAR way.
Or a Tom way.
Yeah.
Well, actually, in the Tom, I won't back down. Yeah. But I think, and the Elon thing, I think there is no way that two narcissists can coexist peacefully for a long term in close proximity like that. I think at some point that's going to end up in a death match.
It almost sounds like the new Odd Couple. Can these two coexist, share an apartment without killing each other?
Well, it's the fact that one actually owns the other. Like, Elon could not be president of the United States because he wasn't born here, but he can buy one. And obviously, if you spend the kind of money he spent, he feels like he owns the president, which is why he's not going home. He's not leaving his side. He wants to control everything. He doesn't want to just control whatever, flakes Trump gives him. He wants to control all of it because he feels like he bought it. That's not going to.
And not only did he buy it, he also, his company, Starlink, has so much. Between Starlink with the communications and the Defense Department, and also with him being at least 1/3 or 1/2 of the transportation for NASA, he's kind of got the U.S. by the balls right now. I mean, it's not that we couldn't live without the space program, but
right. I don't disagree with you. He did buy it, but the thing is, Trump, he wants to control it, and Trump is not the kind of guy who is going to be. That's not going to sit well with him. The fact that Elon wants to actually call the shots, but I don't know how subservient Trump will be, how much money keeps coming in from, or where he's going to draw those alliances, and how deep he's going to be committed to kissing Elon's ass for more money along the way. I don't think it's going to last. I think there will be some blood spilled there. Whether figuratively, literally, maybe it'd just be ketchup, but I don't see that relationship.
Now, do you think it? I mean, at some point, I don't think. For example, okay, this is a roundabout way of me trying to make my point. But Trump just needs to feel like he's in charge. He doesn't necessarily have to be in charge. And I'm saying this like when there were cabinet members that used to hide documents from him, and he didn't know. He just felt like, I know what's going on. I make these decisions. And they were like, well, we don't want him to know about this because he'll really fuck things up. So they would hide shit from him. And is it possible that Musk maybe knows how to manipulate Trump so that Trump still thinks he's in charge?
If that were, I agree. I hear what you're saying. If that were the case, why would Trump already be treating that? Elon won't go home. I can't get rid of him. He tweeted that out twice.
Well, just remember too, the first time he actually had people that were considered capable, and now this time you've seen how low the bar is, where you can just step over it. So
not just incapable. These people like Pete, the Fox News guy who was going to be basically using the military to shut down.
These people, they're going to get in there, and the biggest question is who is going to steal more? Is it going to be Elon? Is it going to be Trump? Is it going to be somebody in his cabinet? So just take comfort in knowing that while you feel like your taxes are going to go down, which they're not, at least Elon and Trump will be able to steal from you. At least you'll have that going for you.
Yeah, forget about this is the whole fucking thing. Not only poor people, middle class people's taxes going to go up, and this is all to serve the billionaires. All our money's going back. More billionaires need more of our poor people money. That cuts to Social Security, all this stuff. The tariffs are going to drive prices way up. All the stuff to serve billionaires. He's allowing the big oil into the cabinet as the energy secretary. I mean, basically saying, fuck them, fuck not just America, but fuck the planet. I don't care. It's all about money. The love of money, greed for the uber rich already, while the middle class and middle class is going to be eliminated. It's going to be basically Russia style proletariats and elites. That's it. Where slave people and rich people. That's all you're going to have. So. Well, it's coming, and it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be a I told you so moment when we're all suffering together. But it is what it is, and time will tell. But time will tell it in a very accurate way that we knew the promises made, not necessarily would be promises kept, but promises stumbled back into. It's not a good thing, man. But I don't care. I don't care. My time is limited. I just want to say, obviously, if I think Ann Riley probably saw me take a tantrum and throw Steven off the show, and maybe that's why she didn't show up today. I was interested.
The whole thing was about the human condition. You think she'd want to get on and examine your human condition?
No, it wasn't about the human condition. It was about climate change and how it was the human idea. And basically, it was about how humans interact with nature and how that is going to be determine a lot of our future on this planet, which I thought would be a very compelling conversation, because I do think, Biden yesterday in the rainforest talking about, all the climate initiatives that his administration has put into place. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Do you think that's going to last another 2 months? All those things you did are going to go away. The infrastructure stuff will stay in place, and then Trump will take credit for it as people start saying, wow, new bridge, this is great. Well, they finally fixed the bridge. But Trump will take credit for that. But the climate stuff, just like Obama's health care, is something he wants to get rid of immediately, and will get rid of immediately. It's not like, why are you even grandstanding about this shit? Nothing is going to last. It's all going to be undone very quickly. And people who don't believe in climate change or basically global warming are going to find out pretty quickly. I mean, we've already seen people in Canada having like 115 degrees in Canada in the summertime. That's not not on accident or not by chance, not a coincidence. It's so I wanted to talk about climate change, but apparently my temper tantrum scared her away. Listen, you know, I apologize for losing my shit today, but that's the way I am lately. Don't have any tolerance for it. I've lost it.
Well, you just got to enjoy this calm before the storm. This is the calm before the storm.
This is the calm.
This really is the calm because everyone has, you know, like those morons. They're like hopeful, like, yeah, we're gonna show them. We're gonna show them. Then when January rolls around and when they're face down, ass up, yeah.
Yeah. No, now I'm not going to. Again, it's not going to be a happy moment for me. Not a. I see. I told you so. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that. Like, see, I told you so. But no, we're all going to be fucked in this thing. And the question is, am I going to? People have been asking this because I have cut lots of people out of my life, including my own brother. Are you going to like just make nice now when? No, there's no reason. Again, these people have exposed themselves as being really cruel. And there's no reason to accept that and to say, okay, I know you're one of these people who is going to be gleeful when women and children and old people are being thrown out not just thrown out of the street, dragged out of their house by the military to be deported, and ending birthright citizenship and all that stuff. Meaning, if we don't like you, it doesn't matter if you're here legally. It doesn't matter if you were even immigrated. You could have been born here. We're taking your citizenship away from you and deporting you. Now, who's going to take you? Like, if they wanted to deport me, they literally could under that ending birthright citizenship. But there's no other country that would really want me, right? So we're going to force, because I have mixed heritage. What are you going to force Germany, Ireland, or Italy to take me? They all say no.
I guess I could adopt you. I guess I could adopt you, and that way you'd be black, and you'd be my oldest son.
No. If they want to deport me, it means out of the country. It doesn't mean somebody else can adopt me and it'll be no.
We can adopt Chinese babies and Vietnamese babies. Why can't we adopt?
That's interesting. I wonder if they're gonna allow that to continue. That hasn't been addressed with the the orphans and adoptions from foreign countries, which was a booming business. Now, since there's so much commerce in it, I tend to think that they might be flexible there. But
they'll still let you import the babies, but there's going to be a 20% tariff on them.
Yeah.
Well, like, especially with like all that deportation talk and shit like that. Have you seen the stuff that George Takei has been putting out there? Because he's lived through this before with his family when we were rounding up the Japanese and throwing them into camps. And like George said, it didn't matter if you were here legally or illegally. If you were Japanese or Asian, they threw you in a fucking camp. And It didn't matter. And that's what he's been trying to tell people. Is like, you think this is just about illegal aliens. It's not. It's going to be much worse than that.
Yeah.
Especially if Tom Horman, once he's, I guess, he didn't have to be confirmed because his title isn't even official. It's just a border czar. That's not even, like a confirmation post. That's just like a Trump grabs him and brings him in the office and gives him a title.
We're just going to see a lot of mooching and a lot of half-ass work.
Is that accurate? Because I thought it was he did have an official title as far as and I don't know what it was now. Border czar. Border czar is the thing he claimed that Harris was, where she never had that title. But right. I think Horman's title is something. not Homeland Security, right?
No, good. I think I forgot. Was that Stefan? At least Stefanus that was Homeland. No, Security. I can't
Yeah.
remember now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And and a lot of these people have no government experience whatsoever, so that's going to be a problem because they've never really run an administration on any level. I'm looking for this thing because they already drafted the rat out your neighbors. You know where illegals might be hiding. Call this number to let ICE know. It's going to be a rat out your neighbor type of thing. I look forward to actually not swatting. I don't know what you call it when you just send people. Yeah, they got illegal aliens over there. Go check it out, and they send ICE to every Trump supporter's house. If you're gonna open up the system to rat outs, let's just rat them all out. Come on, let's call them all and give them all heartache. I mean, there's no doubt that people are going to be harassing me as part of the resistance. And I'm being called a radical leftist. I know, and people who knew me during the Obama administration laugh whenever they hear people call me a radical leftist. Like because they called me a radical right wing guy. It depends on whoever is in office. I guess I'm the opposite.
Well, you've seen how bad COVID was handled. Can you imagine how bad something like that would be handled? It'll be chaos.
Bird
it'll
flu?
be No, the deportations. It'll be horrible. It'll be so half-ass, and yeah, because what'll happen? They'll start it, then a weekend or something. Then that moron will come out and say, "Oh, we need to go in this direction instead."
Right.
Then they'll try and reverse course or something, and yeah.
Do you think the media will cover that, like people getting dragged out of their houses by the military? Obviously, the military is going to say, yeah, get that camera out of here. How they will cover that? It feels to me like we've lost the press a long time ago, and they're just cowards. Again, when you don't even have the balls to ask a guy to prove that he's got 195 IQ.
Well, that's why they want control over social media, because it may not be like regular press breaking it, but that shit will show up on Instagram, TikTok, and because of that guy Brandon Carr, he wants to ban TikTok. And the only reason they want to ban TikTok, they give you the bullshit China ownership. But the only reason they want to ban TikTok because it's extremely popular and it's easy to mobilize people, and that's what they fear.
Yeah,
fascists fear, people being able to mobilize.
Yeah.
Well, in lieu of that, because what's going to happen is once the phone videos, start start inundating social media. Almost every house that gets invaded or whatever is going to be stuff like that. Their combat, they've already gotten their alibis ready. It's AI. It's fake news. It's it's going to have it's going to have an effect. The videos of the people being deported, but again, because there's so many people already willing to not believe it, it may not have the impact that we think it's going to have.
Yeah. All right, that's that. I unfortunately guest didn't show today. Tomorrow Zank is supposed to be on. Now he's a friend of Steven's. He might be mad at me for my outburst this morning, but I'll talk to him about that. So he's scheduled. Elizabeth Croydon is scheduled for Wednesday. Don't have guests for Thursday and Friday, but for the next month and a half. And I was actually thinking of just ending the show, like just folding this fucking thing up, and then I go and fucking book like a month and a half of authors and whatever they are, people who just feel like compelled to get some publicity out of this. I was just trying to fill up this week. That's all I was trying to do. Get through one more week of this. I don't know. Do you guys have any? So would you be brokenhearted if we don't do this anymore after this week? Because I'm pretty much shot on it. It's like, where are we going with this?
You know, it's your
Okay.
thing. No, I didn't. You know, I had a life before it. I enjoy this, and if you end it,
You
you
do
know,
enjoy this? That's the question. You enjoyed it,
yeah.
barring this morning. You like where we've been progressing with this thing. You found this enjoyable because I'll be honest with you. The last month or so, uh, no, I haven't. I have not enjoyed it, and not just because of the election stuff, but just because it seemed like we are like what Ron said, everybody was sick of Trump. No, everybody wasn't sick of Trump. It's like we end up talking about the same things because it won't go away, and we're not really talking about music, comedy, entertainment, creativity, all those kinds of stuff. It ends up being there's nothing other to talk about than how we're all going to hell, and that's not fun. It's not fun for me.
Oh, we can stop talking about we're all going to
How?
hell and look for other things in the
How?
news, and we can look for
How?
entertainment stuff. We
How?
can look for sports stuff. You know, I
How?
just said we can. I just said we can look. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. I said we can look. You know,
And yeah, but and we're going to pass 2 hours, 2.5 hours every day on this stuff. It just it doesn't seem like doable because the reality of the world we live in, it's hard to talk about. Yeah, I'm doing a comedy show. When you're talking about going to Govs for that show, it's just like I just can't. I can't get into the mindset of putting on a show for people. I have a gig this weekend that Italian restaurant thing. I don't feel like being an entertainer. I have gigs this week in the facilities, and those it just doesn't feel like what nobody fucking cares about distractions. It all comes back to the same old shit every time. Napo needs a break from politics for his mental health. Um, what is it? I don't discount that. I think Ian's right about that. But how does that happen? Do I go to a deserted island, leave my phone at home, and just like get completely off the grid for a month? I mean, how do I escape?
when I was in high school, one of the things that I had to learn was that um, shit is going to happen to all of us. The same shit. It's how we decide to respond to it that makes a difference in our lives. Um, you know, I, I'm getting old like everybody else. I can say, okay, well, I'm almost dead. I'm going to be dead soon, or I can just try to enjoy whatever days or moments I have left. And try to find the best out of it. I don't. I have family and friends that I don't agree with, um, and some of them violently, and some of them I don't have in my life anymore. Some of that reason. Some of it
Right.
they're not in my life long before that. They just didn't like me. And nothing to do with my politics.
So, but you're talking about things, but when things happen, like when your Social Security gets cut and it's not part of your income anymore, you're just going to ignore that?
No, no, I didn't say I would ignore it. There's a difference between ignoring it and then letting it become, yeah, I probably have to find like, okay, find another source of income that I will do, but I'm not
Mm.
going to let it be the reason for me be depressed or upset, or I'm not going to let it take over my way of thinking. It's not going to shape the way I am. I'm still going to be a joyful person looking at trying to find joy in other people and joy in other things. You know,
When you see young girls dying in parking lots, you just ignore that. I mean,
I have another
how much
parking lot.
can
I have so many parking lots around here. You think I can't find another parking lot where women aren't dying? You think I can't drive?
uh,
I have a fucking license, Matt. I got my license because I know how to avoid obstacles. Come on.
well, that avoidance is exactly the point I'm making. Can you avoid and just ignore when the world is going to hell around you? And
No, no, but
that statement, yeah, I'll just drive someplace else and ignore it. That is the Trumper attitude. Like, yeah, he may be promising Nazi Germany, but it won't affect me because I'll just drive past it or I'll just look the other way.
yeah,
Can
but
you look the
obviously,
other way?
obviously, by the fact that the fact that I'm laughing and like this, that's not my actual philosophy. No, I look for alliances. I look for solutions. That's what I try to do. I try to find solutions and things like that. I know I seem kind of wussy to people, and I'm not, and I'm not like the archetype, the manly man thing, but I am a fighter. My weapons are, maybe fruitless, maybe futile, but they're still my weapons, and that's what I have: my humor
Well,
and my willingness to
yeah.
keep fighting for what I think is good.
Okay. Now, how does that work its way into doing a morning show that where daily there is constant fuckery going on all around us? Even if, again, I haven't had cable news for 16 years in my house. My phone is pretty much all. I'm not like getting text messages and all this stuff, but just coming on to prepare for a show like this, you can't avoid this is on social media in case people haven't figured that out yet. You can't avoid the news. It finds you wherever you are in this world. The only way for me to really have a cleanse, like Ian is suggesting, would be to go completely off grid, no communication with the outside world.
And
because
that's not my okay.
Somebody's going to bring it up, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and it's going.
Right.
It's not. It's not that I'm trying to avoid the news or people bringing it up. Like I said, my reaction is still. I try to find humor in things. I try to bring. I try to create the world that I want to live in. And I'm not giving that up. I'm not giving up my joy because there's, other people and other things don't want to feel my joy. I still try to spread joy. I still want to be a difference. If it's a small difference, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's, I think a lot of people are just feeling like this because we're just waiting for the shoe to drop at this point. Like
Right.
we know what's coming, and like right now, this is pretty crazy time, and you can see like the people that are being appointed. So that doesn't give you much in the way of hope. So yeah, I think it's just that it doesn't help. They have that
Yeah.
anxious, like
Yeah.
what's going to happen next year? Because from all the talk and rhetoric, yeah, it's going to be a shit show, and
Right.
it probably will. And I can kind of see your point, Matt. Like, what's the point of this and that? But then I'm kind of like in GD's camp as well. Is you gotta live your life, but then at the same time, when you do that, like when I'm up on stage and stuff, it's nice because I don't have to think about anything else, and then I can make fun of these people and get up. Then when you see other people laugh about the ridiculousness that's happening, then you at least know, all right, at least I'm not alone, and I know other people are feeling this way as well, which a lot of people are. And it is frustrating when you see like these Trumpers and they're like, yeah, we're winning. It's like, well, yeah, right now you are. It's easy right now. It's so easy right now.
They
But
just
wait,
want to be on the team that's winning. Definitely. Just want to be
yeah,
on the
but
team that's winning.
when January rolls around and reality comes crashing, then yeah.
Yeah, well, again, I appreciate what both the attitude that GD is espousing here, but when it comes to affect you, when my Social Security gets cut, and it will, there's no question that it will happen. When that happens, it affects me directly. That's not saying, well, I'm going to stay joyful when they steal my money to give it to billionaires. Money that I worked my whole life for to save for this moment in my life. They're going to steal that to give to billionaires who need more money. That there's not something I can say, oh, I got to find something to be joyful about in this.
I think you got to be joyful, Matt. With that bald head, just think how well your OnlyFans will do. Think about that.
Not well.
You see, now, Matt, also you're missing, and I honestly, and I don't want to blame you for this, but I think you've been missing a great marketing opportunity by not renting out the space on your head for advertising.
Yeah, I believe me, I pursued that in the past. That doesn't. Nobody's interested. Nobody's interested in an OnlyFans from a dude like me. But again, this is I understand you're trying to make fun and light of things, but when it comes down to serious shit that is going to affect us directly, I don't find like, yeah, I could joke about it as I'm fucking moving into a box on the street. Yeah, that would be funny. As they plan on putting us through economic hardship to rebuild again, which is part of the plan. I'm just supposed to say, yeah, just there's nothing I could do about it. So just enjoy the suffering. That's it's a easy thing to say, but when it comes down to it, it's really going to be. We're looking at the dark ages coming back on top of us, and you know what? It's not something I can find any humor in. I really can't. And I'm a guy who laughed at my own son's funeral. I found things to laugh about there. I don't see anything really remotely funny about anything that's coming down the pike, or even ways to make it joyful.
Well, one of the things that I think some people should look at is maybe investing some time into groups like Indivisible or something that's counter a group or something that or group or organization that's counter to what the Trump people are offering. Now, true, some of them just want to ask for money, like ACLU. I guess they can use volunteers or people to help the ACLU. They're in for the good fight, but quite often, and this is my only reservation, is whenever I reach out to an organization like that, they almost always ask me for money. It's like I don't have any money to give you. Okay, take my services. I'm a stand-up comedian. Use my services that way. But I don't have any money to give you. That's the problem I have with those organizations. But still, other people may not have that problem. And if you don't have that problem, reach out to them. Reach out to ACLU. Reach out to Indivisible. Reach out to groups that are, Emily's List or something like that. People that are still trying to fight the fight, because we can't do it by ourselves. We're alone. We can't do it by ourselves. Fuck that. We'll just be fodder or chum or whatever it is that whatever metaphor fits whatever thing they're doing to us. That's what we become. So
Ian's finding some joy and some comedy in all this. ACLU, fuck that stupid. That's a grift too. It's all
I'm just saying. I guess no matter what group, somebody's going to think there's something bad about it. My wife asked me once, what does the ACLU do? And I said, they fight for free speech. I said, but not to everybody's enjoyment, because they also fight for the right for the Klan to have free speech. And she goes, fuck the Klan. I said, well, see, so the ACLU is not for you. That's no.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm not saying. I just picked that group. And Ian, I'm sorry that you tore your ACLU playing soccer. It must have been harmful and really terrible for you. I know
I've been football, by the way.
Yeah, I've been there, and I know how painful it is. And you have my empathy and my sympathy.
Yeah. So bottom line is, it's really hard for me to find anything inspiring about this. Now, when you talk about volunteering, I've been volunteering for literally for more than 40 years on an individual level outside of organizations. And that stuff makes me feel good in very short spurts for short amount of time, periods of time. But you can walk away from doing something, acts of kindness for people, and a half hour later, the reality of where this world is going, basically sets in, and you're just like, what's the fucking point here? We're just waiting for the fall of Rome, and we're waiting for it all to crash.
Look, I'm not saying that it's easy. Believe me, and quite a few times I will talk to my wife about not necessarily. It's not okay. I enjoy comedy. I really do not like the business of comedy. The business of comedy sucks big dicks. But the art and science of making people laugh and helping them get through their day, I enjoy that. Now, I was talking to my wife about the fact that one of the things that does bring me distress is the fact that I have no kids. I have nothing to pass my legacy on to. And that's my biggest fear. My biggest fear is being forgotten. Your kids will carry your name on, people who love you. I think that there's a saying that says, you're not dead until people stop talking about you. And so that would be like, I would be dead 30 minutes after my funeral. So stop talking about me. And that's the only reason why, that's the main reason why I'm making as many YouTube videos as I can with my comedy, because I don't want people to stop talking about me. But my wife reminds me that even though I don't remember the good I've done, it is, there are literally people who are still alive because I helped them not commit suicide. Okay. That's a good thing. Of course, when I get depressed sometimes, it's like, yeah, they're alive, but I'm dying on the inside. So, and they're like, nah, just laugh. So,
yeah. If we can, just for a moment, I on comedy, I don't. Ben Shapiro calling out Bill Burr on Mars podcast. Did you see any of that stuff?
I saw
Calling
that
Bill
Ben
Burr
Shapiro
an
was on
asshole.
Bill Maher's podcast. I'm calling it a podcast because that's what he basically
Podcast.
does. Podcast. But I didn't watch it because I have no interest in Ben Shapiro. So I didn't watch it. And Bill Maher doesn't really fascinate me that much either. But
yeah, I'm not. I can't handle Ben Shapiro at all at this point. I mean, just his fucking voice is a trigger for me. But I was curious about why call out Burr as there are so many people who Ben Shapiro could make a target out of for. Burr's not like a radical left guy. He seems like a centrist, middle of the road, somewhat. I want to say conservative in the political sense of conservative, but somewhat, working class mentality. Even though he's a very rich guy, he doesn't seem like a radical leftist. So for Shapiro to make him a target just seemed interesting to me. I didn't watch it, and I can't watch it. But the fact is,
speaking of comedy, do you want us to put the show logo on this comedy show? Do you care, or does it matter?
What? What? I'm not sure what the question is.
This show that we're gonna do at Governors, do you want us to put the show logo on the poster or not?
I'm not even sure if the show is going to be still around in January, but it's not going to draw any. Nobody knows. It's not like this is a Long Island thing. I mean, I don't care one way or another, but it's not. Here's the thing. I feel like there's an easy layup here, but because of pride or whatever, you want to take a full court 3-point attempt when there's an easy layup to get somebody like Tony Walker, somebody who's got some Long Island credibility and some draw on Long Island to host the thing. Somebody who's going to bring some people in, because nobody's going to say nobody's going to get out of their seats and say, we got to go see the show that's Coffee with the Dog or Mind Dog TV. Nobody's going to be interested in comics that they never heard of to go out to Govs unless there is somebody that with some local name recognition. And there's an easy layup for that. There are plenty of people you could get to host the thing and be part of the thing. But without that, you're basically planning on doing a show in an empty room for what? I mean, especially you want to take the 3-point. Why? Why put that extra stress on you? There's 2 seconds left in the game, and you're going to take a full court shot at a 3-pointer when there's an easy layup that wins the game for you. That's what I don't understand about this thing. So if you want to use the logo, you can. I don't know if the show's going to survive to January. My gut feeling would be that it won't, and it's not going to help or hurt. It definitely won't hurt or help. Nobody will know what it means. Nobody cares. It's not like there's no Long Island presence here to say, "Oh, that's I got to go see that." It's coffee.
Well, GD's putting this together, so I'll leave that if he's going to get someone else to host or whatever. If you're going to have someone host or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask because I made a flyer, and I just feel the flyer looks a lot better if there's no logo or anything on there.
Yeah.
But I do agree with what you're saying, Matt, that we need an anchor for that show that's a local, because that does help.
And somebody that the room's normal customers are paying patronize. Because if not, I understand, listen, wanting to be the captain of your own ship. But do we love, and this is gets down to the roots of all that we do as performers. Do we really want to perform for an empty room, or do we do our best when there happens to be an empty room and accept it as part of the thing? But to encourage that, to say, I'm going to purposely shoot myself in the foot and not take an easy way to get some people in the room, just over pride or whatever the fuck this is all about, to not have somebody who can bring some people in as a source just makes no fucking sense to me. It's like, I don't enjoy playing for empty rooms. I do, and I make the best of it. But to purposely do it and know that I'm bringing this upon myself, having an empty room when I could have had people in the room, makes no fucking sense to me at all. That's where I'm baffled with why you're even doing this. That's my final statement. Stephen is back in the chat room. He said he recommend maybe talking to Tony about it yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. Tony would help. Tony's having his show there this weekend that he's promoting, that he is, I think, also hosting. But anybody, I mean, there's so many Long Island locals that you could get to host it or even be part of it, who would help put some people in that room. Because at the end of the day, if you have nobody in that room, what have you fucking accomplished? All you've done is made the room think, I'm never working with these guys ever again. What was the point of that? So they came here, they paid me money for tickets that they promised to sell, and I did some business on the night thanks to the comedians who came in. Ends up being a pay-per-play show, and I've burnt that bridge to 3 clubs who could have been supportive in the future. It makes no fucking sense to me. That's so you guys can figure that out for yourself. But coffee, nobody's coming out to see because I have anything to do with it. That's the reality. My name on it, Coffee with the Dog, the label, Mine Dog, doesn't mean anything to Long Island people. They're not leaving. They're not getting off the couch for that. You guys can decide what you want to do. I don't really care. All right?
Okay.
All right. All right, that's it. We'll end the show here then. I don't know. Tomorrow, Scott Zank is the scheduled guest. I'll talk to Stephen offline and see if I can't. I apologize for actually just yelling at him, but you gotta know when you're fucking pushing the limits with me. You have to. You have to have my tolerance for bullshittery is off the charts. It's gone. I have a very short fuse lately. I admit that. Not in a good place with any of this stuff, but I do appreciate you guys making an effort to try to be entertaining for people. I just don't see that there's, as fiddling as a world bands, this Nero thing. Yeah, I'll play some. Let's play on the ship of the Titanic. We'll play one more song before it hits the water. That's what I feel like we're doing here. What song would you like to hear? No request.
Sweet Home Alabama. No, it'd have to be something like Sweet Home Alabama. That's what people would choose.
Yeah,
Sweet Home Alabama.
I think you're right. This is one of the things about not being in the band. that I really appreciate, because I know for a fact that they played that on Friday night. And it's like, you know what? I don't have to hear Mikey say, "Sweet Home." No. I don't have to fucking play that song again. And that is fucking freedom. That's something to be happy about. That's a joyful moment right there. All right. See you guys tomorrow, maybe. Bye for now. Don't forget to turn on your radio because we won't be there. Bye.
listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.